Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Medium's Table. I'm your host, Michelle Gardner. This podcast is your personal invitation to join me at the intersection of the everyday and the extraordinary. Together, we'll explore the magic of mediumship, share spiritual stories, and connect with fellow mediums on this incredible journey. So grab a seat, pour yourself a cuppa, and come join us at the Medium's Table, where spirits gather and stories unfold. Disclaimer, just a heads up to all our lovely followers. Our social media is a space where we share personal stories, including those of various mediums. Let's keep the vibe positive and respect each other's beliefs. Every journey is unique, and here we celebrate the diversity of experiences. I'd like to welcome to the show our amazing panel of mediums, and today's topic is orbs. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
I was waiting for the silence. Now I'm disappointed because there's normally that silence. And I'm like, and it always makes me laugh because it's like, oh, they're all looking at you say it. No, you say it. Look, it's great to be back with everyone again. And this time we have the hard evidence on video and captured on camera. Now, some of the evidence is decades old. Some of the evidence is years old. But evidence is evidence. So some of it, there is none of it has been tampered with. If it has, it would be me enlarging it, slowing it down, but absolutely not manipulating a photo in any way, because we are wanting to understand, see, and explore what orbs are, what are the structures, what is going on here, why are they different? It's all questions that hopefully we may come to some conclusions, but we may not. So without further ado, let's get to know our mediums. Julie, would you like to tell everyone what it is that you do?
Sure. I'm a medium and I'm a psychic, and I read things like cards and palms. I'm also a Reiki master and a paranormal investigator. So those are some of my things.
That's just some of the things that she does, because her list is so long, it would be half a show. Anyway, thank you, Julie.
It's okay. That's what I'm doing today.
Exactly. Annie.
I am also a psychic medium. I'm an author of 3 books. I'm also a grief recovery coach and an ordained minister through the Order of Melchizedek. What am I forgetting? We'll just leave it at
yeah. And you have your books there. You have your books there because you are an author.
I do.
We can't forget those.
And here's one right here.
And you can find them on Amazon.
Yes, they're on Amazon and actually most any bookstore, but they'll definitely on most everybody's familiar with Amazon.
Fabulous. We love an author and we love to show the books because this is how we learn. It's called education, people. Get with the program. Okay. Thank you, Annie. Jeannette.
My list is a little bit shorter. I am a trance medium, an evidential medium, and I've been truly working in this for about 4 years, and every day is an adventure. And like you said, something new to learn, more books and more books to read. And I am grateful to be in the company that I'm in at this moment in time. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, fantastic. And I just want to quickly mention, Julie and Jeannette both have a monthly segment. If you haven't seen them, trust me, they will be in the description, as will everybody's details. Leanna.
I am actually also a medical provider, but I practice as a psychic medium and also an energy healer as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, the topic today, being orbs, is, I think it still remains a mystery. Do we really know what they are? I mean, come on, guys. I've never actually seen one myself. Oh, this is a whole angel subject and topic all over again.
Well, you can't deny the footage.
What was that, Leanna? Sorry.
You cannot deny the footage you're about to see if you're watching this.
Exactly. And Julie said that some people believe they're angels. So, look, there's so many theories. And I guess this is where we're going to discuss this with you. We will, for the listeners, we will describe what you're seeing, because I understand not everybody will be watching this on YouTube, but I do recommend that you go to YouTube and watch the footage. It is worth seeing. Very much. You will be disappointed if you don't see it. But we will describe what you are seeing and or what we're seeing, we'll describe to you, so that you can go on a visual journey with us as we share and describe what's happening. I'm going to pull up the screen share. Okay, so here we have a photo. Now, these are Annie's collections that may not be all her own, but what are we seeing here, Annie? Would you like to describe this photo to us and where the orbs are?
This is one of the photos. People that know me will often send me their pictures of orbs because they know that I'm very interested in them and have taken a lot of pictures of my own. And this is a picture of a gathering of several people. Looks like a party. This was sent to me by a friend. But you can see on what she's done here is blown up an orb. I believe it's off the hat, which you can see quite distinctly here that it's there. It's just off to one side of the hat. And there's also another larger orb up on the ceiling in between these two men on the left side. That one's a little more faint. Now, for those who are watching on YouTube, you might have to kind of squint a little bit until you actually see the orbs. Once you're used to seeing orbs, you'll be able to pick them right out all by yourself, no problem.
Yeah, it becomes a little bit of a trained eye, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It really does.
And in this one, see, I see here in this one, I've enlarged this one from this lady's hat here. Now, it is a little bit blurry because I've enlarged it, and it's from a photo that was taken a long time ago. Now, I see here two eyes, a nose, and a mouth. I don't know what anyone else is seeing.
Yeah, and it's like
I see that happening with orb pictures, that I can see a little face in there.
faces.
Now that you point it out,
yeah. And it's like, tilt your head to the side, squint. No, I was only joking. But, when you look, it's amazing what you can pick up. So this is Annie's first photo, and then we move on to the next one. Now, what's happening here, Annie?
This is a friend of mine from back in Syracuse area where I used to live, and she is an amazing medium. I can't remember her title, but she can produce things. She goes into a closet and things appear in this.
Physical medium.
Physical medium.
Yeah, she's a physical medium. She's amazing. So what is here is a good size orb here. Looks like it's on her shoulder, and nobody should have a problem finding this one at all. It's quite obvious. And again, it's what, I don't know, about the size of a softball, maybe a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Good size orb there. And orbs don't have a particular size for people who aren't familiar with it. They can be really, really small. Excuse me. And I had a friend here in town that saw one last summer that was about 3 feet in diameter.
Wow.
Wow. And she saw that with her regular eyes. It wasn't with the camera.
Wow. That's incredible. So this is quite interesting. And I love to see the structure of them because I see them like snowflakes. They've each got a different structure. Each one is unique. And this one is quite, I guess what you call stipply, speckly, but a little bit multicolored.
Yeah.
And I do like, And I do, and you can see the prominent ring around the outside, that white, or would you call it a white outer ring? So that's quite fascinating.
Now, with this one, Annie, did she describe the night that was happening? Like, why was she
doing a long time ago, and I honestly don't remember what was going on at that particular time.
Yeah, but it's an obvious gathering of people. So, so there again, the vibration would have been high.
Yeah.
Because there would have been a lot of fun, a lot of laughter. Is that a reason why they show up? So one of those
like a party.
Yeah.
Well, I was in a Zoom call just the other night with a friend of mine, and I suddenly saw an orb off to his left, and that kind of hung around, and they don't often hang around, as you know, they zip. But this was
Yeah.
just kind of hovering on one shoulder, and then another orb showed up on the right shoulder. And I'm typing to him, and I'm on private chat there on Zoom, and I'm saying, "You just had an orb, one on each shoulder." And he said, "This was the anniversary of the house fire." And he said, and his cat and his dog died in that house fire. So he thinks that was the cat and dog that showed up.
That was the
Wow.
energy he felt. Wow.
Yeah.
This photo is large. It's a good size orb. And people looking at this aren't going to possibly miss it. It's much
Yeah.
bigger than a softball, much bigger than a softball. And if I recall, this one was taken at a birthday party here in town. And it just, again, a happy celebration, people celebrating and just having a really good time.
Yeah. And you can see again, you've got that similar structure, but this one's more rounded. The other one was a little bit oval shape. Yeah, you know, and it's got that stipply sort of speckly structure to it, which is very interesting. But I love the theme where they're showing up is when there is fun, laughter, a gathering of people.
Now, people looking at this one are probably going to have to look a little bit closer. The darker orbs, there are hundreds of orbs in this picture, hundreds.
Oh,
And
really?
of all different sizes. And this is when President Obama was taking, I think it was the oath of office. I'm not quite sure, but I think that's what it was. And people obviously couldn't all go to Washington, D.C., so they set up movie theaters around the country, and you could go to the movie theater and watch it on big screen. And I stood back and was just randomly taking pictures of the people coming in to watch this, and just hundreds of orbs in this picture. Now, I
Yeah.
have seen, and I couldn't find it to send Michelle, but I have pictures of, again, he wasn't president yet, but it was a speech he was giving in Chicago. Thousands of orbs around him, thousands, while he was giving the speech.
Yeah. So this is outdoors, or is this in like an auditorium
This
or
is
a theater?
inside. This is a movie theater inside.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
is anybody seeing here? So what you've got is there's rows of red chairs and there's a scattering of people in the chairs. Now, this man down the front here, are you seeing how big this is?
Oh, I
That
didn't even
and-
notice
and
that one.
Yeah.
really the most prominent one, which almost looks like a moon hanging in this auditorium,
Yes.
which is up the right corner, right. If you look
Right.
at the size of the screen and you get the perspective of the people below, that is ginormous.
Yeah.
Huge. That
It
is
is.
enormous, and then I think, well, when we go to parties, sometimes I'll ride with other people. So I'm wondering, because these are energy sources to me. I don't have a real true scientific basis, but they're energy sources of beings and angels and loved ones that comes through. Do they join together when you see something that huge? Do you get a sense that it's multitudes of them? Say it's your aunt and uncle and the other aunt and uncle and the grandma. The grouping, and something that big.
Yeah. Well, that's a really good question, actually, Jeannette, and a great theory. You would imagine so, but then who really knows? It would make sense, wouldn't it? Like if
Now you can see towards the top of the movie screen, there is a blue orb, and above that, it looks like there's kind of a light blue orb.
Yes.
The very first orb I ever saw was in my house in Liverpool, New York, just Syracuse. And it was Christmas time, and I was taking pictures of how pretty I made everything. And this was in front of the fireplace. And we looked at the picture because, we didn't have picture phones yet. We were taking pictures the old-fashioned way. And when it was developed, here's this beautiful blue orb in front of the fireplace. And when I see orbs, they're quite often blue like that. I don't know why, but they're quite often blue.
wow, that's incredible. But that is, there's so many orbs in there. It's not funny. That's incredible. And
Okay,
here,
this is a shot of the same gathering of watching his swearing in on the movie theater. And again, you can see a lot more of the orbs, a little more clearly in this, but it's just, you can't even count them all.
It's multitude.
Yeah.
They're kind of even overlapping one in front of the other. It looks like a crowd of orbs. You know,
Yeah.
when you have
Yeah.
a crowd of people, you can see somebody's head and a piece of somebody else's. That's what this looks like. That's exactly what this one looks like. Wow.
Yeah. And you can see in these structures, because it's dark in these photos as well, we're remembering it's dark, their structure is a little bit different. On the ones that are quite, you've got a little bit of a gap here, you've got, spots taken out here. Some of them look like they're shaded. Just the structures of each one is different. Look at this. There's another blue one up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Phenomenal. Okay. What's happening in this one, Annie?
Okay. This is one of my friends that sent me this orb, and you can see, and here I am moving the pointer. Nobody can see this pointer, but on the door, underneath the hat, you can see an orb there, and on the floor you can see a couple more smaller orbs here.
And on the door there, you've got two on the door.
A couple more.
And there's another one underneath the hat on the door.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing here is an office chair at a desk. There's a TV. It's like a bedroom. Or a lounge area. There's a TV. It's just a regular room. With the door shut, and the orbs are obviously more prominent on the dark door because they're easier to see, and on the green carpet. So, and you've got, again, irregular sizes of orbs. And I think there is another one to follow. Now, I find it interesting. This is the same room, but they're different.
They are different.
And you can see they stand out so well on the brown door. And those are good size orbs. And there's, so also some on the chair as well, on the black chair, so they stand out a little bit more. Yeah, and underneath the TV set, there's a great big round one. So this room is just full of orbs.
Yeah. Do you know the history of who? Like, is this a family or a single person? Like, you don't have to give names. Or do you remember who sent you this photo? Like,
I honestly don't.
Okay.
So many people send me pictures. I honestly don't.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to, is it a teenager's room? Is it, a mother's room or a couple's lounge area? Just to sort of try and understand, I guess, the energy
of the land there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would say probably is from the hat on the door, probably a male teenager.
Yeah.
Okay, this again is another friend's orb, but boy, look at this great big orb on this guy's back. He's wearing a pink shirt.
Wow.
And he's really good size, like soccer ball size maybe, or bigger even. That's a good size orb, and that's right up by the back of his head and his neck.
Yeah, you see more orbs in this picture.
Yeah. So this is there's three people in this picture, and it looks like they're older kids, older teenagers, perhaps, and they're all standing around a kitchen counter, and they're making something with dough, possibly, possibly seasonal. We don't know, but around these three children are an enormous amount of orbs, and like Annie said, a huge orb behind this guy here, huge. But again, we've got. Sorry, go on, Annie.
Yeah, I was just going to, you've got your pointer on it. There's one just under his armpit here. And then there's one on the lady with the dark hair in her hair. Another one with a lady with blonde hair.
With a gray sweatshirt.
Yeah. And you've got a couple up here.
Yeah. So the room is full of orbs. Now, there again, people are happy and they're having a good time doing, maybe they're making pizza or something. Kind of looks that way.
Yeah. And this is a different angle of the same kids.
Mm-hmm. But look at the orb right after the blind lady's head. Wow, that's, really, really stands out.
Yeah.
And look at all the orbs on the guy with the pink shirt. Oh, my God.
Yeah. I'd be interested to know whether, again, this was an occasion as to why they were all together. You know what I mean? Again, a gathering, family.
Yeah. Happy.
They kind of
Yeah.
look like they were making
Right.
pizza or making pizza dough.
Yeah.
But
So this is
that's-
the enlarged orb above that girl's head in the previous photo. I mean,
Wow.
it almost reminds me of something that you would see that would be an ancient structure where there would be like, you know how they have like a maze or an
It looks
ancient.
like sacred geometry.
Mandela.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sacred geometry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
quite incredible.
Okay, now I have a little story about this one. This is the hallway in my house in Syracuse, and I worked full time at a career, but part time I took appointments for people for their readings. Now, what you're looking at is my husband standing at the back. You can see the kitchen straight ahead. The right hand wall is the wall that adjoins with the living room. The left hand door there that you see is my office. Now, what I started realizing after a while was I would get information coming in having to do with a client. A client was due at, say, 2:00. 1:00, I'd start getting information, and it felt like, oh, okay, somebody's got a spirit coming in. So when my husband was home, which wasn't often at the same time as me, I would ask him to line up in the hallway and start with the living room windows and just take snap pictures one right after another. Again, these weren't the instant ones of the cameras we have now. So he would do that. And unfortunately, we don't have a series of these pictures, but you would see the orbs moving through the living room window, through the living room wall, which is one of these walls here on your right-hand side. And then they would go right through into my office door. You could actually see the progression. So that it's kind of a neat thing. And again,
Very
folks,
cool.
look at this on the YouTube. If you're listening, you need to actually look at these.
Yeah, yeah. So you've got one here on the wall, which is a decent size. Is that one up there on
one story, Annie? Is it one story? One-story house? Two-story, because this is where I'm going with this. Many times you'll see them jet out of the ceiling and do a cross motion. So when you see them coming across, there's less density usually for them to go through. So I was just wondering if it was one or two stories. Very interesting.
2 stories. Now, this is the same hallway. And again, this was an experiment because it looked like my 2 kitties were playing with somebody or something that I couldn't see. So again, this time I'm taking the pictures and I'm just snapping. And they're playing with the orbs.
Wow.
The orb is a nice, good size orb here on the wall. He's kind of looking at me instead of the orb, but he had been playing with something, which is why I took the picture.
Yeah. And am I correct in saying are these little orbs here on your cat, or is that just the photo, do we think?
I can't tell. It might be.
I have a huge computer screen, so
Yeah, which also makes me wonder. I'm sorry, no, this is my third question. And because if they come to the energy and they come to when there's a family gathering and celebration, I'm just feeling a little foolish saying this, but I'm almost feeling like they probably enjoy that interactions with the cat, because otherwise they would have split. They would have left. So they're there literally interacting, playing with these kittens.
Yeah.
Otherwise they would have come through, or they would have been annoyed and they would have left. So if it continued, they're playing. So orbs are playful. Any comments, guys? I mean, really shoot me down. I don't care. But I'm interested. I'm thinking, okay, it sounds like they were playing with them.
I agree with
Julie?
you 100%. I mean, that was proof in the pudding, because they obviously were playing with something that I couldn't see. So that's why I started just snapping pictures. And
the theory is coming to a being that's open and receptive, definitely, and has a perception that can perceive the energy. Now,
the doorway that you see partially open on the screen, that's the doorway to my office.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was on its way through or it was just playing with the cat. I don't know.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Julie?
I feel that they have consciousness. I see them this way. It's harder for me with a stagnant photo. But there are all different purposes that I've seen with orbs. Frequently when you're videotaping and you see them, you'll hear something on audio at the same time. There's like a correlation between them showing up and paranormal activity. I have interacted with them. I had one that liked keeping me awake one night, slamming the door.
Wow.
It was like a toddler. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Jeez. Wow.
This is the conference room just off my office. And the lady that in the blue shirt gave healing treatments to the members of my Course in Miracles group that met there. And I noticed quite often during meetings and stuff, I would take random pictures and orbs would show up. And that's what this was just a random snapping of the camera to see if I could see any orbs. Now there's several pictures of orbs here. On the far left one, there's a white orb, near her shoe. And then the second picture, there's an orb near the other lady's head. And the third picture, there's an orb, up on the ceiling. And then the fourth picture, an orb right on the door. And again, the orbs, and of course, all my meetings in that room were always happy and uplifting and good energy and all that kind of thing. Whether it was Course in Miracles or I was teaching a class in pendulums or something, it didn't matter. So the energy was always high. Yeah. So again, I think they were attracted partly just to show up and say, hey, what's going on?
Yeah. And do you think maybe when they know you've got the camera out, do you reckon they put on a bit of a show? Like, seriously, come on.
Yeah. Well, somebody is making, there's orbs here on the ceiling. And I think I'm talking about orbs there. That's me 65 pounds heavier than I am right now.
That's all right, Annie. We've all got a past.
Good job. But I knew that my office had a lot of orbs hanging around in it. So.
And is this, would you say this is one here? A faint one right there?
Yeah, there is one there. You got a better screen than I do. Yes, there is. I can see the two in the ceiling in the right-hand picture there.
Yeah.
And you look like you're having a great time.
I'm just clowning around to see if the orbs would show up.
Yeah.
And joyful. And your white background makes it, a challenge for them when, someone's taking pictures.
Yeah, definitely. And then we've got the next one here.
Oh, this is fascinating. So this wasn't that long ago. It was a year or so ago. And my Ring doorbell went off. And I answered the door and there wasn't anybody there. And then I looked on the Ring app and here's this great big orange orb in the palm tree right across from the front door. And I thought, okay, did the orb ring the doorbell or did it set the Ring doorbell off or what happened? And this happened 2 or 3 days in a row. And I did put it on my Facebook page and people were just like, oh my God, this is so weird.
Yeah.
So that's another colored orb. Like most of the orbs we're looking at are white, but they do come in different colors.
Yeah, yeah. Which is fascinating. And I wonder what the purpose is behind the colors.
This is a trip that I took to the Grand Sequoias May of 25. And this is my dog Coda, who passed several years ago. And I'm taking pictures of these amazing giants. And as I'm taking the pictures, I'm seeing orbs. Now, in May, there's hardly anyone there. So it's quiet, it's beautiful, and the things that you pick up on, whether you see them or you feel them, are just amazing. And so there was orbs everywhere. Everybody who was taking pictures, my cousins, my daughter, they were picking things up left and right. And the one where the puppy is in that orb, I can totally see it. Yeah. In the top middle part, I can see the puppy there. The nose, the eyes, the ears flopping down.
Yeah.
Incredibly majestic area.
Yeah, it's almost like a portrait, isn't it? And it's in an oval shape that makes it look like, you know, how in the old days they had the oval portraits.
And the rings around it, and the trees, when you cut them, they have all the rings inside. Usually I'll see, and if you've been noticing on Annie's too, the rings, almost, some of them almost look like there's electricity trying to come out of them. It's not a solid circle. And this one's got like 3 or 4 different rings going in. Really, really interesting.
Now, Jeannette, you said that you could see them. Can you see them with your naked eye as well? I know that you can feel them, or was it just in the camera?
Sometimes, but you'll feel it, and you'll maybe, because it's really, there's so much different light filters, particularly see where the sun was coming through. So I'm like, let me grab the camera and see if what I'm feeling and what the shadow that I think I'm seeing or the light I think I'm seeing is really there. That kind of thing. So that's what I do. I definitely don't see them like we're looking at them right here. I'll see I think that I see something, but every time you move or you blink and your eye is focusing, remember, right? When it's seeing the light. So this captures it and it's not moving, and you can really, confirm what it is.
Yeah. So Julie, when you say they have consciousness, does that mean that they have the ability as well to present something within them?
I have seen that. I have seen orbs where people recognize faces. I have seen, recordings where you get to the orb on video and then you hear footsteps or, something intentional and frequently about or connected to whatever's going on in the room.
Yeah, right. Yep. So this would be no coincidence that Jeannette took this photo, hence it looks like her dog.
Mm-hmm. Right. Sure.
Yeah. Yep. I love that.
Of course.
And then we have in our next screen share. Now I've enlarged the structure of this purple one down the bottom here, which is totally random. It actually looks like a little bit of a peace symbol. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't know. I have, what I feel? It has a bit of I want to say alien feel to it. And I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, I didn't notice that one until you brought it up to me. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And there's no graffiti on these trees because, it's not allowed. And you've got the rangers and everything there. So that is definitely a very pretty purple orb.
Yeah. And it's prominent, nice, isn't it? Yeah, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant purple color, and it's very obvious. Okay, obviously not to Jeannette because she didn't see it in the photo, but it was obvious to me.
Which is really good because I didn't notice it either until you pointed it out. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, the other one is so large that small, even though the color should really call your attention. You focus on that bigger one. So I would have missed that one had it not been for Michelle.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Julie?
Some people capture things much more like this purple one with kind of mini purple ones or different colors. And they look at the structure as light language.
Oh.
So it's considered like a healing transmission. They seem to interact differently than the other orbs, right? Just like when you think about in mediumship, when we interact with deceased loved ones, that feels different than when we interact with, ascended masters or angels or aliens.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense, actually. So, and so interesting that, and I mean, you can see a faint one there as well. So there's actually 3. Yeah. So this one's oval shaped. The one underneath it's round. And then this one's, I guess you call it landscape oval shape. You know what I mean? It's sort of elongated, but yeah.
The top oval one, a couple of people saw an Indian face in there.
Really?
Yeah. Like a nose, the eyes, and then the high cheekbones.
Yeah. And it's almost like once you see it, you can't unsee it, whatever it is that, you've first seen. So, but I love the fact that other people see something different. And I think, do you think maybe that's because that's what they're meant to see? Who knows?
Well, there's
Ready for
people
this
out
one?
there too that say that they're just dust mites on your camera.
Yeah.
Anybody looking at these pictures, that's a darn big dust mite.
Yeah, yeah.
For you
So
here. And a colorful one at that. So yeah, so much for dust
the
mites.
the story behind this one is I have a little front porch. It has like a little interior garden, literally it's like 10 feet from where the porch drops. And then there's some vegetation. And it was early morning. I was sitting out there with my mom having coffee, and there was this dewdrop on a leaf. And the way the morning sun was hitting it was so magnificent that it looked like a diamond sitting on it. And I just had to take pictures of it. Only because it was nature was giving me a piece of art that was so beautiful. And it wasn't until later when I'm going through and I'm, blowing up because I want to see really close the dewdrop, and I'm like, what? I see my husband's face in there. That's my husband that Michelle has placed there. He had a really, really large forehead, a very distinct pudgy nose. I would call him pudgy nose. And so whether other people see it or not, and I would show the picture to different family members. I'm like, hey, look at this dewdrop I took. My God, that's like Michael's face in there. How'd you do this? I'm like, no, I didn't do anything. Like, now, what did you do? Did you superimpose something? I don't do any of that stuff, not because it's just not my thing. Some people do that, as art form, and it's really cool. So this one I was watching, as a matter of fact, because I think this was taken out of a video. There was a cardinal that came, vivid red, because I have a bird feeder there, a little fountain in the corner. And we're watching the cardinal. And then from the cardinal, I looked down to, the vegetation, and I saw that dewdrop just shining there. It was pretty pronounced. That was a pretty wild morning looking at that.
And that's a beautiful rose pink color, isn't it? Almost like rose quartz. If you know what a rose quartz crystal looks like, it's that beautiful pink, soft pink color. Now, I mean, here we see, I've enlarged it, but I don't know whether that's done it any justice or not. But these are the eyes. You can see the face here, the nose, the mouth. Now, in this smaller one, it might be a little bit easier to see. You've got the eye sockets, the nose, the mouth. This is the head. And when you showed me this, Jeannette, I'm like, how that is unmistakable. That's definitely a face. That's
you had seen photos of Michael before you saw this image.
Yeah.
So when you saw it, you saw him within the image.
Yeah, that's like, what the, you can't, that's like, yeah, that's definitely him. If I was to place that, and sort of fade him into that he would fit that.
Yeah. So he passed November 5th of 2020, 4 days before our 36th wedding anniversary, and which plunged me into this whole world. Anyway, catharsis. But then there's all these things that have been popping up, and and he's everywhere.
Yeah. Literally
everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, so in the next one, what's happening here, Jeannette? We'll watch the video.
So I'm watching TV. There's plenty light in the room, and this is the dog. This is my dog Bailey, and poor thing. So after Michael dies, I start to feel him a lot in the room. Bailey started to sleep with me. You just saw an orb fly down there. And she was my definitely emotional sustainment, honestly. But you can tell by her body posture, she is freaked out. She goes down and she starts eventually to just claw on the door like, I want the hell out of this room. But see, they're flying everywhere. And so she, I would let her go to wherever she wanted to go in the house. But I had to, take out the phone and record. Now, I did not see these with my naked eye. I could feel it and I could see her reacting. I take my cues sometimes from my animals. And then when I get out the camera, the room is going crazy with things that I can't see, but they're seeing quite clearly. Since then, just a note before Michelle goes on, he came through in a reading at some point saying how proud he was of himself, that he's now it's been 5 years. And I would pray to him and say, hey, listen, just back off enough because I need Bailey in bed with me. I need her viscerally to be there. And what he said, and this was like in the last few months, how proud he was of himself that he has now trained Bailey to be okay when he gets close in the room. Because I'll see her go like this now. And these golden doodles give you this like when they're not happy with something, and she'll do one of these and then she'll kind of like lie back down and be okay.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it?
Pretty crazy. This next one takes me back to September of 2020. So Michael died November of 2020. So we were doing a weekend at the beach, and we're on the 21st floor of this building. And we have Coda there that you saw when we started this film or this episode when she started with me anyway, an Australian Shepherd, beautiful. And he's lying at the foot of my bed with my husband next to me. And he gets real upset and he's really angsty and he jumps off. And I'm like, what do you want? Do you need to go outside? And when I come out into the hallway, he just goes into this little cart that, we would take him downstairs in. And he was scared and just like, and I could feel such a presence, but I didn't know what or where it was coming from. So again, grab the camera and I'm now videotaping. Okay. And I'm starting to see all of these orbs. Now, the majority of them are coming from the floor, shooting straight up.
Yeah.
And they're all in this little hallway. My bedroom comes out. I mean, it's a tiny little apartment. So as soon as I step out of my bedroom, I'm in this hallway. And this hallway is just maybe 2.5 feet wide by 4 feet, and then that's already the dining room little area. And definitely he was not happy with whatever was going on there at all.
Was this the story where there was something that had happened? Building had fallen?
I will tell you my takeaway, my feeling when that was happening, I had such a sense of foreboding. I've had that a few times in my life and it's never good. And, it kind of just takes your breath and you just feel really heavy, like, wow, like some kind of warning or something was coming. So in June, so that September, Michael dies, and that was September 7th. Michael dies November 5th. Okay, 2 months later. A year later, in June of 2021, 10 blocks from where this apartment complex, this condominium stands, we had a tower that just collapsed in the middle of the night, and it took like 96 people with it. Horrible. But I don't know, because it's like we would barely go there because he would work so much that even after we bought it and I fixed it up, we'd rarely be able to get away to enjoy it. So to this moment, I don't know. It was just a bad feeling. Not like it was wishing me bad, but like something was going to take place and happen.
Yeah.
I remember when that happened. That was horrible.
Yeah, right.
And anyway, we had to stay at the beach for a bit at around that time, and the dust, and I know you have a story about that, Annie, but it was just, and it took forever for the debris, and then where were they going to dump the debris? Where were they going to take it? And then who was going to pay for it? It was, the materialistic part of taking care of that in a kind and conscientious fashion was just appalling.
Yeah.
Really was.
So do you think that the orbs were there as a warning, or did they, like Julie says, they have a consciousness? So were they intermingling their energy with your auric field to feel that? Like, what are your thoughts on that, anyone?
Yeah, I mean, I know they were trying to tell me something. I couldn't really pick up on it. I could pick up enough to know that there was something happening and to, take out the camera to really confirm it for myself. But that's as far as I got.
Yeah.
That's as far as I got with that mystery. I grabbed a couple of treats. force the dog into the room, and shut the door. That was it.
Yeah.
I agree with Julie. I think they have consciousness. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They know, like, that my husband presenting himself in that orb that morning, that was on purpose. The cardinal, I mean, it was almost synchronized swimming. Here's the cardinal. The cardinal goes from the fountain literally to the floor to eat something that had fallen from the bird feed, which is right next to the little dewdrop where he's, projecting his face on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
And the fact that he literally said, hey, he's big ego, but in a funny way. Hey, I trained Bailey and now I can go in anytime I want. And she's okay with it,
Yeah. So, Julie, do you think that they intermingle with the auric field? Like, or is it a psychic thing?
I mean, for me, I feel things, so I would feel like it's through my auric field. Yeah. I mean, when I'm in a haunted location, I feel the things.
Yeah, right.
So
can you explain Julie, auric field? Can you explain a little bit for the listeners, auric field?
Yeah. So we all have energy that just comes out of us. Like we are giant orbs, really, right? And it's from our chakras, this energy, and it surrounds us. And they're different sizes, and it can get smaller or larger or whatever. But a medium actually uses one way of doing mediumship is to make your aura really big and to include the other person or space that you're reading. And it's kind of, as far as feeling, like clairsentience, it's like your vocabulary. So things you have experienced, you have, knowledge of what that feels like in your physical body. So if you touch on something outside of your physical body, like your aura touches the person next to you, you might suddenly feel angry. And you're like, I don't feel angry. But that might be something you're picking up from that other person or from the room. You learn how to kind of discern.
Yeah. It's energy transference, isn't it? Which it's a little bit freaky when you're on public transport and you're shoulder to shoulder. Anyway, I'm just saying.
Which is why we all stay home.
Yeah, exactly. Just want to point that out. Anyway. So now we're moving on to Leanna's videos. Leanna, do you want to share a little bit about what's happening here?
Yeah, so we got a Ring video because somebody had played doorbell ditch. And all of a sudden, when we started getting this doorbell video, we started capturing orbs. And this one, for me, is fairly large. And this came around, this story for this one, this came around when I needed validation that one of my friend's mothers had come to me and she was larger than life. And I needed validation from her that it was actually her and that she wanted me to inform her children that she was around and that she was speaking through lights, that she would turn off and on lights. And so that is the night that my friend's mother had come to show herself. And I actually felt her and then saw this video the next day. And like I said, she was larger than life. So I would expect her to come in this manner.
Yeah.
It's a large, slow moving, spheric orb coming towards my door.
And what I've done is, so the orb moves down your garden path and heads towards your front door. And these are at night time, aren't they? All of these are at night.
Majority of them, there are a few that I can capture that it's like, dusk is coming. But majority of them are at night.
Yeah. So what I've done with this one in particular is I've enlarged it because it's got such an unusual way of moving, and each one is moving. They're not just going straight across, or they're not just going straight up or straight down. They're moving in a way that is, they'll curve up, they'll go down. all
He's
over the
so
place.
slow and fluidity like. And as you can see that orb, you know, there is no sharp sphere around it.
Yeah. And they seem to move like, I question, are they going into your door, or can they not get in? Is, you know, because look at this one.
Yeah. So this one, it comes away from my house and looks like it's projecting into a certain body shape. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
And this one's still see-through. You know, you could see the floor here, the concrete.
And it goes from being round, for the listeners, it goes from being round and floating to suddenly being sort of elongated, you know, in an oval shape. But it also looks like it has legs at the bottom there a little bit.
Yes, like it takes a shape at the end of my driveway.
Yeah. And then
it
it
looks kind of like it's walking away.
Yeah.
Now it definitely looks like it's walking.
Then I've enlarged it here. But
Yeah,
you
those
see
last clips. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can almost feel like arms hanging by the side, and it shifts sideways. Wow.
Yeah. Incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, and this footage you've got here is very different to what Jeannette has shown, to what we've seen with Annie. Again, very, very different. So, you know, that there lies more questions. Why are they so different?
And
look at that.
Yep. Like it's hopping away and then starts to walk. If you go back to it, can you go back to it real quick for people who are going to watch? Is there any way you can slow motion? It's okay if you can't.
I can't slow motion it, but I can freeze it every time I can stop start.
Right there. Yeah. And so it looks like it hops.
Yeah. Let's go back a minute.
That looks like there's feet there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It's incredible. Yeah.
And then it's like it walks away.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And this one, I love the structure of this one. So again, we've got the same, for the listeners, we've got the same scene because it's a Ring doorbell. So it's
in front of my door.
In front of Leanna's front door of her front yard, showing her driveway, etc. Now, again, each orb is coming in, it's moving it's all over the place, different. Some of them are different structures. This one, to me, looks unstable as it moves. When you watch it, I mean, it's a sort of translucent white.
See-through,
it just sort of looks a little bit more unstable than the rest. And it keeps going to her front door.
I know. And then it's always hard, you know, because then it goes out of frame. And so I'm not capturing like if it's going into my door, but, you know, obviously. And then this one, depending on the color that people can see, is like a little orange.
Peachy.
Yeah.
But
peachy, reddish.
What I like about
Julie?
What I like about this picture is that it shows dust and it shows lens glare.
Yeah, you
right?
can see it. Right.
So you can see that the orb is moving with some kind of wisdom or reason, right? It's not, you know, we do see those that fly right across and sometimes they might be bugs or something like that, but this is slow.
Yeah.
And kind of meandering, but it seems to know where it's going. Right. But you can see it with the other things around it that are not moving, and you can identify them as, well, that's something else, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. And exactly like what Julie said, there is the screen glare. See, in this one, this is the same one coming back.
It's the same one.
Back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's moving with, like you're saying, with intention. It's slower. It's just incredible. You really have to watch this. I love that.
And then all of a sudden, it seems like there's a flash of energy that's coming off of it, like a tail.
Yeah.
Wave.
It looks
which
like
I did.
Door.
Yeah, which I did slow it down and enlarge it. So again, viewers, you have this benefit of actually seeing it as we're talking, but it almost looks like a comet, doesn't it? It's got a tail coming out the end.
Yeah, like a burst of fire coming out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible.
Outrighting it.
That's, amazing.
Wow.
And it makes me wonder, are they actually going in, or where are they going?
It looks like it
Well,
went in.
It almost seemed like that one knew it was on camera. He's like coming back, like, "Hey,
That is what I question.
is this my better side? Can you see me better?"
I have question for that one. Like, was it really knowing that it was being recorded by this light, by this video? Yeah, it is true. I've questioned that.
The one that we just watched with the tail?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I'll put on a little bit of a show, like Julie said, this side, that side.
Show up.
Yeah. This one, look how this one's moving. It's a bit like wobbly.
Yeah, they do move a little wobbly, and they are all moving differently.
Yeah. And this one's sort of a light yellowy color.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they just so slow, so graceful when they move. And again, it's not just straight across. It's up, it's down, it's sudden, it moves suddenly. See, this one just goes, now it's doing a backflip.
Yeah.
It's changed its mind. I'm not going today. We're not visiting. No, we're going home. And it heads back down the path.
One question I have is, if you talk about the higher self, and I've brought this up with you, Michelle, is if we're light beings and we could take off while we're sleeping, I've often wondered, can one of these be actually me leaving? I figure a lot of them are spirits for myself or beings or other beings, but I have question, I have some that go away. Is that me, my higher self?
That's a good question.
One.
Yeah. What do people think about that?
So when you go to bed at night, make the agreement with yourself that you're going to leave evidence.
Oh, I like that.
Put a Ring camera, put another one in your room. And
you're right.
And then
that's so smart.
Note, it'll give you the time. You'll know when you fell asleep.
You're right. I'm going to have to start doing that.
If you see it leaving your room or coming out of your body, there you go.
Like sort of the same time. You're right.
Yeah. And like Julie said, make that note to yourself, that agreement that you will leave evidence of.
That is so great.
Yeah. And these videos are across 2 years. So you've got some from 2020. So this is continuous.
This is continuous, even though if you don't have it up to date to 2026, I still have orbs coming to my door. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It's just a capture of time. Mm-hmm.
Look at this one left, and it's slowly circling. Oh, and now we're done. I think we're at the end. Okay. They were some impressive videos, Leanna, like impressive and slow moving, and just structurally wise. I just don't even know. When you sent those to me, I just didn't even know what to say about that. A little bit like Jeannette showing me Michael in a dewdrop. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's great to have the video footage of them moving. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's being recorded off your Ring doorbell in real time, and so you can't. And again, for those that are listening, it's got the Ring logo in the video.
Mm-hmm.
And
so we have captured, like, for example, my husband, he'll get a Ring notification. It's on his Ring. It could be like 8:00 at night. And all of a sudden he opens the door because, of course, we want to also see it with our own eyes. And we can't, for us, with these ones, we haven't been able to capture it. So I'm watching the video while I'm watching him come out.
So in saying that, now, Leanna, did we not, correct me if I'm wrong, did we Google why the camera was able to capture the orbs more so than the naked eye?
And then Julie, you probably can also step in. There is a certain bandwidth of light, and of course, how many how do you say it? How many times we're snapping in regards to the light that we can see and refracts into our eye, that it's at a different level with the camera, like infrared, red, different bandwidths of light rays that we can't capture with our own eye spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah. And humans see much less than other species.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And I think we've worked out over time, even with when we're in practice circles, if we get our cameras out, what our cameras are capturing, digital, our technology is capturing way more than what we're seeing with our own eyes, way more, clearer. much clearer. So there is definitely something behind that.
And you have to take into consideration the times we blink as well, you know?
Yeah. Yep. Oh, to be human, hey? And next up, we have Julie. Do you want to explain what's happening here, Julie?
It's my favorite thing. So watch this spot. There you go. This light pops in. It's behind me. I don't see it. Then I jump and turn around because someone alerts me to it. I'm like, no, you're lying. Yes, it was right there. I promise you. I'm like, no, there's nothing there. And stop messing with me. It's pretty much what I was saying. If you could see my thought bubble.
Yeah, exactly. Julie's in disbelief.
Julie, did you see it on the Zoom? Like in front of you?
I did not. I did not see it that time. So
and Julie just
your reaction. When I saw this for the first time, my takeaway was, you're sitting here on a Zoom thing, whatever, and you see this thing happening behind you, and you look back and you're like, what was that? No. So you didn't.
No, I didn't see it. No, Dawn and Michelle saw it. I was on a Zoom with Dawn and Michelle. And the first time it happened, we weren't recording.
Yeah.
So then we were like, hey.
Zoom? Was it the same Zoom meeting?
No, it was the same time. We were meeting like every week on a certain day. And this was like the middle of the afternoon. I think it was like 2:30 my time in the afternoon. And the house is quiet. And it happened the one time and I didn't know anything. And I'm like, really, whatever, because weird things happen to me all the time. So, and then the brilliant idea to actually record our Zooms. And then we caught it on recording like 3 times. Yeah. The day we actually did the podcast about this event, it actually appeared again and we weren't recording. So it happened one other time that I saw, and I was in a Zoom during a class with a bunch of other people. And, the screen was full of squares and I could see it in mine. I did email the person then and asked about it and they couldn't really find it or anything. But that's the only time I know that it happened outside of the 3 of us meeting.
Yeah, because usually in meetings they'll do the teacher will be the only focus. You don't see the students. Yeah.
Right. But
it's over different conversations. You guys, every time is a different conversation, correct? It's not like
different
a same
conversation
or
it's
same.
I remember we were talking about aliens. Maybe we talk about aliens a lot. Except that the last time that we didn't catch it on video, we had just been talking about the podcast that we had just recorded. And it was like, hey.
Yeah.
And we didn't catch that because we weren't
recording anymore. Yeah, exactly. So this is it in slow motion and you'll see it drops. It just sort of like it pops in. And like I said, this is very slow and it's a glow. It's not like we've seen the other orbs in all the other videos and the photos.
It is a glow.
And it just, it has that glow. There's no solid.
It doesn't come from anywhere.
It
there
just appears.
And it's gone.
Yeah.
This white.
It like
glow.
Pops and it like wobbles a little bit and then it draws itself.
Would you categorize this with an orb? I mean, I know it's on this show, but I'm thinking maybe not an orb.
It's very big. I think it acts differently. Yeah, but I mean, I could see how it could be an orb too.
And it looks like it
think of it as a portal.
That's what I was going to say. It looks like it jumps into a different dimension.
Whole other show, guys. Whole other show. Yeah. The fact that to me, this is like, hey, open. Oh no, she's busy. Boom. Close it up again.
Yeah. I mean, I encourage Julie, put your finger in there and see what happens.
Yeah. Right.
You're in Australia. What do you care?
Have you done more?
Maybe that's where I'll end up.
Yeah. Julie, now that you know where it's like located right there, do Do you use your paranormal to investigate that area? Like if it feels different normally?
It shows up on both sides of me, and actually it shows up. I've moved my computer, so it's shown up here already.
This is on the other side.
Yeah.
And you'll see it opens and then it draws back in on itself.
Is it like that wall? There's something special about that wall?
No, because it also shows on this wall behind me. So
wow. Okay.
The first one is to my right, and then it shows behind me other times after I move.
And it's quite it's I think it's you, Julie. It's not it may not be location, it may be the person.
It's interesting they're showing up on Ring doorbells and on Zoom meetings. You know, the one I saw the other day on an orb here and an orb here. And the person looking at the screen doesn't see it, like Julie didn't see it, but somebody else watching it sees it.
Yeah.
It's just like when we have the lights go off, you know, whenever we have a spirit. The person that's sitting here doesn't know the light's going off, but everybody else watching can see the light blink.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's very, I don't know, is it dimensional, Julie? Like, it's just like, well, how do you categorize that? Or is there no category that we have for that?
I mean, I don't really know. I've asked. I don't have a name for it. I don't call it George or something. I'm not. I do get lights other places. I do get lights. Like there are lights. I see lights. Sometimes I'll see lights and tell people, and then they see lights, but not the same. Yeah. I feel like, and I didn't feel anything either when that happened.
Yeah, which again, we went over the the auric field, the energy, intermeshing with that, but that did not seem to be the case. So again,
it didn't let me know it was there. It's weird.
I definitely acted differently. Like it came out of something and then went back into something.
Yeah. But there, in saying that, we looked at the structure with Annie's photos, which were a little bit different to Jeanette's photos. Jeanette's got you can see clear recognition of an animal, a loved one in those orbs. And with yours, Leanna, the movement, the flow, they're not moving in, I would say, the usual way we see an orb move.
Yeah, zipping around.
Yeah. So is that location? Is it to do with the energy in your house? Are the orbs now, have they evolved? Who knows? Like you say, are some of them actual humans when they were sleeping? Is that an energy source going out there? Is it a loved one? What is it?
Yeah, or someone who recently passed, like the one that really, I mean, I felt like I'd see the arms and everything where it's like walking and the head is down. That looks like a person, the shadow of a person walking away. So maybe when, the spirit does cross over, it takes a bit to be like, I don't need to do this. I can just zoom and zap all over the place. What am I thinking? Maybe they haven't caught on yet.
It's funny that you're saying that because I have presented a video to Michelle when my husband was out of the country and I was here and I was woken up by a spirit and I told it to get the heck out because I was trying to sleep. There is a video of what appears to be an older person hunched over that runs out of my house as an orb and then looks kind of scared and then takes off. And I soon found out afterwards a neighbor did pass away. So I do agree with that. And that's what I believe is that orb that I have shared with Michelle is like, oh my God, I wouldn't have treated her that way if I would have known.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. And that video will be presented in another interview with Leanna. So stay tuned. But because you've got a phenomenal amount of footage, incredible amount of footage. And that was just, I think, some of the other orb videos we'll be presenting in that video will be different. And they're across 2020 through to 2023, I think, maybe so far, or there was years.
There actually was one from 2025. That was
Okay.
my husband's grandmother. One night that he was thinking about her and looking at the visual, the picture from the visual. And she kept going back and forth all night long, the night that he was thinking about her, and had that picture next to his bed.
Wow. So that's pretty
I think
evidential.
At this point, Leanne, I think if you're going to go put up some more Ring cameras, I think you should ask for a discount. Okay. 'Cause I think
right.
I don't know if you guys know, but they say that one of the new Tesla cars, the little camera inside shows spirit, like people that are, it'll show you supposedly bodies near the car. But so people drive them to cemeteries, and then you see all these bodies, coming. Yeah.
Well,
so I don't
Jeannette,
know, how fascinated people might be to like just buy a bunch of Ring cameras, set them up all over their house to see what they can capture.
I am actually taking your guys' advice. I do want to set up a camera. That would make sense in my room to see what happens while I'm sleeping, and does it correlate with the time on the door, the ring?
Yeah.
And your entrance, whether you have a small foyer area or whatever, so you can see what's coming in or going out of that door, which is a beautiful door, by the way, really pretty door.
It is a beautiful door. Yeah.
And if anything, just what
I've got a blink camera in the living room that I put up when I leave, so I can watch to see if the kitties are getting in mischief. And so a blink might be catching things too.
Yeah, definitely. But if it's any consolation and you just want to watch this just to see Leanna's beautiful front door, do so.
And here's the thing: it's solid wood too. So I would love to see the other side of that door when we can no longer see that orb.
You're right.
And part 2.
Yeah. The journey of the orb. We need to see where it's going. Put a trail cam on it and let's see. So, and like Julie said, if you think it's you, Leanna, going on a little bit of a travel there, a little bit of a journey at night. Yeah. Leave that intention.
Try to decipher what's going on.
Yeah. Capture that so that you will definitely know it's you if it is.
And then when you're in the sleep-wake space, some of us, we're more perceptive and receptive. I do hear things. I do hear voices. I do get images. So is it me? Is it spirit visiting? That's true. I'm going to start doing that and see what happens.
Yeah. We need to get to the bottom of this. Now, Leanna, you're going to hate me for this. Did you have you had a scientific theory behind this that we discussed before the show? Did you want to share that?
For what?
For the orbs?
Oh, do you mean in regards to what an orb is?
Yeah.
Okay. So, of course, with Julie, I do believe it is a conscious energy. And what some say is that it condenses so that it can show itself, and manipulate the energy around itself as well. As it pushes, I don't mean it in a mean way, as it manipulates the energy around a cardinal or anything else like that. So I do believe in what Jeannette's saying in regards to her husband, and there was a cardinal, and it's like, hey, let me send you the signal to pay attention over here. And she did, which is really amazing.
Yeah. And Julie, do you want to recap on that with what your theory is behind orbs?
My theory behind orbs? I kind of think that they're at all levels, just like as mediums we encounter all different levels. So something that might be a consciousness, but, like you might call a ghost, right? Paranormal investigators get lots of them. They may not necessarily interact, and they don't necessarily, give a medium a whole lot of information. But they would also be, when we reach out to deceased loved ones or to angels or guides or aliens. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they're probably on all the levels. It's energy. We're able to see them on cameras. I also feel like all of what we've seen shows us that these things are aware of our technology and learning to use it, right? So we're going to show up on your camera because we can,
Yeah.
and we're going to flock to cameras now, we're figuring it out.
Yeah.
And we're going to use that. One thing I suggest from investigating is when you take a picture, if you're taking pictures and not video, to take 3 sets of 3, because then you can see where things aren't and where they are. You can invite them to show up on your film. I know a lot of people who get a lot of orbs because they say, "Hey, show up. We're inviting you. So let's see where you are." And then the other thing, we've been talking about video, of course, and we could see in Leanna's, how an orb seems to stretch and become something else. Like you could see feet starting there, and the way it was moving. But they are also correlated with movement or noises, in other kinds of video. So it may not always be a visual. It may be that the orb appears when something else happens. And that is bringing up a whole nother train of nonsense in my head, because I had an experience where I saw a full body apparition. When I woke up and saw it, I was sleeping downstairs at my mom's house, and I was sleeping downstairs because someone was visiting up and sleeping in my bedroom upstairs. And I woke up and I saw these feet in front of me, and I said, "May I help you?" What else? What do you say? Like, who are you? Right.
Yeah.
And they didn't answer me. So I took my hand and I patted like what I thought was their calves, and my hand went through their calves. And I'm like, "Okay, you can go now." I thought it was like a small person, like a child. And my sister-in-law was visiting, and she is a small statured person, right? Like it very easily could have been her. So then I got the dog, right? I got the dog and I slept with the dog. I held onto the dog's collar. The dog was between me and where the apparition was. And I told him to leave. So I slept with like one eye open. Anyway, and I had forgotten all about this part because I was traumatized, I guess. But when I told my sister-in-law that story, she had around the same time been woken up upstairs, and it was like a queen size bed or something. So on the pillow next to her, she saw orbs playing. And she said there were like 3 or 4, and they were just kind of playing on the pillow.
Wow.
And that was like, I mean, do we know it was the same time? No. Did we videotape any of it? Absolutely not. But both the same night, weird.
And these things can happen so randomly. You're not prepared to video. You're not prepared to take photos because you don't know what's going to happen.
Right. And your logical mind, like she had somebody in the house that fit the description. So that's why she's like, "Can I help you?" Like if my brother's spending the night and he comes into my room, I'm going to, more or less his size. I'm like, "What do you want, George?" Until I recognize that George is a ghost and not really my brother coming to bother me in the middle of the night. So your brain will go to the most logical explanation first. And even when confronted with something that doesn't fit the patterns of what we have learned, you kind of fight it a little bit going, "What? Wait, what?" And you're in a loop for a little bit. Yeah.
It breaks your brain.
Explains what's going on with me. I get it. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll have listeners and watchers around the world setting up Ring cameras in their house, and then you'll probably see the real estate will go through the roof because they'll all be for sale. There's something in my house. That's it. I'm moving. We're out. They suggested this. Who said to do this? But anyway, you don't,
and I'm sorry, go ahead.
If you don't want to see them, don't put up a camera. Anyway, go on, Julie.
But I mean, what I do understand, and I sometimes forget, is that mediums are portals. And what I understand from historic reading and interacting with spirit is that we're brighter somehow. They can see us somehow, whether it's because the aura is bigger, whether, you get a group of mediums together in one room, they're like all over it. And it's not always something that we understand or even control as a medium. You get kind of used to it, but we have to remember that when you have your Ring camera, because they're like, hey, it's a medium's house. Duh,
Did you register your Ring camera, Leanne?
I know.
There must be.
It's registered in a different dimension.
Oh boy, right? Don't go there, please.
I know. But it is true, like my husband and my daughter, they are more intuitive than the regular person, especially my daughter. I understand why I'm with my husband, and my daughter is. So that's what doesn't surprise me, that they are coming to our house.
Yeah.
Right.
And do you think some of them are looking for help? Like, what's your feeling on that? They're looking for help? Are they looking for recognition? Are they just seeking out the light?
In regards to my friend's mother, she came to me and proved to me that it was her and gave me validation to speak up, because it was actually speaking up to them that I knew that she was around and she wanted me to give a message. So that's why she's like, it's me. This is your validation. Also, going back to the person that passed away on my street, I think she was looking for a light. That's what I'm feeling. Like I felt after looking at the whole situation. It was that night of the passing. And what's this bright light? Well, where can I go? Where am I supposed to go? I'll never do that again. Yell.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Because I did feel bad. I wish I could have said, go, no, you're okay. Go to the light. I mean, but you're woken up in the middle of the night. I want to go back to bed.
Yeah, exactly. There's no forewarning, and it's, it's something spontaneous that happens that you're not prepared for.
And then what Julie says, hey, now we have a place to visit and prove we're here.
You have your address on speed dial, Julie.
I do not have a Ring cam.
Ghost ways, Julie, boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Turn left.
Exactly.
Float through 2 degrees to the right. Pop through that wall there.
Yeah. I learned that lesson. I've woken up with a line of people. I'm like, oh no, you got to go. This is not happening. Oh.
Yeah, me as well. There's a long line of people.
Yeah. You have to have boundaries. No more. Come back during business hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And I love the similarities between stories. Here we've just suddenly realized, hang on, there's 2 of you that have just had long lines of spirit,
lines of different people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Sounds like another podcast for another day.
Michelle takes notes as these go on.
I do. It's a good topic. Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing your stories and your evidence with us today. It was fascinating, really fascinating. And if anyone out there in the world, in the audience, has their theory on what orbs are, or you've experienced orbs, please comment below and let us know. Because the more that we share, the more we feel normal, the more that we can get answers and maybe come up with something that, I don't know, I guess for us as humans, we need to make sense of this. You know what I mean? We're looking for something that makes sense. How, why, what are they? Because we've just seen so many varying evidential videos and photos right now that have been so different, yet so similar. Julie's life of its own. Leanna's, the movement, Jeanette's faces, loved ones, and Annie's different structures. And again, we've established the group settings as well, as to why they would be around. So many different variations and variables in all of it. So thank you again, ladies, for being with us. Now, before we go, the most important part, Julie, where can people find you?
Oh, right. I am mediumatlarge.com and on Facebook, Medium at Large, and Instagram.
Excellent. And Instagram. That's it. Mm-hmm. Annie.
I am also on Facebook, Anne McAvoy, psychic medium. And then there's Anne McAvoy, grief recovery coach. My website is annmcavoy.com, and my YouTube channel is just Anne McAvoy. So I'm easy to find.
And her books can be found on Amazon and good bookstores. I will put those in the links below. Jeannette, where can people find you?
My webpage, which is JeannetteConnects.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. And I'm on the mediums table.
You are. Ta-da! Leanna, do you want to be found, Leanna? Or should we keep you hidden for a while?
We are still hidden.
What was that? Sorry?
I said, I am still hidden.
You're still hidden. All right. No one can access Leanna. So there's a no-go zone there. She's just got all the good stuff.
Unless you're an orb, in which case her door is apparently open.
I'm fair game. They know how to reach all of us.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah, that's the secret. So learn fast, people. If you want to contact Leanna, you have to become that little energy bubble that goes through her front door. And I say, good luck with that.
Good luck with that.
Thanks so much, guys. And I look forward to having you back on the show very soon. To view the show notes, head over to themediumstable.com.au. If you want to watch these episodes, head over to our YouTube channel, The Mediums Table Podcast.